Hi, I'm Annapurni and I'm here today to speak to you about what every one of us has to face every day in our life. What is it which affects us, which affects the way we act, the way we react or respond? The external environment. Imagine you are planning to pursue your UG course. There are many factors which you need to consider. Some are controllable, for instance, your personal preference. What is the course you would like to take up? Or which college you would like to go to? That's your personal preference. It's internal and controllable. How about the available sources of finance? Or how you plan to travel to the college? The second group of factors are the uncontrollable factors, those which are beyond our control. For example, the interest rates increasing, or the college changing its preferences, or the political situation in the college in the place you are planning to pursue. These factors are external and uncontrollable, and therefore we need to make changes to our plans so that we can respond to the situation. If the interest rates have gone up, we may have to look at some other source of finance. We can't rely on our study loans, which becomes too expensive. So we may have to look at other ways we can sponsor ourselves for the education. Today, we are going to learn what kind of external triggers are going to be present and how businesses have to respond to them. Firstly, what is the definition of business environment? The term business environment means the sum total of all individuals, institutions, and other forces outside the control of a business enterprise that may affect its performance. Business environment is made up of specific and general forces. What is the meaning of specific forces? Specific forces such as the investors, customers, competitors, and suppliers affect the individual businesses directly and immediately in the day-to-day working. General forces such as the social, political, legal, or technological conditions have impact on the enterprises but affects an individual firm only indirectly. Today, we're going to learn about the various dimensions or elements of the business environment. SLEPT analysis. It's a popular acronym used to represent S for social factors, L for the legal environment, E for the economic environment, P for the political, and T for the technological environment. Other names for this analysis is PEST analysis or PESTEL analysis, which includes ethical factors, or STEEPLE analysis, which includes the environmental and ethical environment. This tool is used to help to analyze the environment. Once this analysis is done, businesses can respond by changing their organizational or products to respond to the changed environment. The dimensions can be an opportunity for a business or a threat. Whichever it is, the business has to respond, and that's the only way they can survive. Social environment. This environment includes social forces like customs, traditions, or society's expectations from the business. Example, the demand for saris in India versus saris demand in USA or Australia, it will be much less. Do we use emailing in our society? Or messaging, is it common here? What kind of food do we prefer? Is fitness very important to us? These are all social factors. Social factors includes attitudes towards lifestyle, product innovations, or even our consumption habits. Let's look at an example from the Hindu paper which came out recently. The title was, "Keep an eye on what your child eats." These kind of news articles affects the attitude of the general public, including parents, who will be very cautious about what the child should eat. How can a business respond to changes in lifestyles leading to child obesity? They could make their products less fattening. They could educate their customers about the ingredients they are using in their products. They could also make their labeling attractive and include more nutritional facts in it. This news will be an opportunity for a health food joint, which can stress its nutritional values. However, it is also a threat for a fast food joint which could respond by making their food healthier. Let's take an example for McCain. McCain was challenged by a slowdown in sales as a result of campaigns to encourage healthier eating. They responded by reducing the quantities of their salt and oil. And they also had repeated messages that their chips are not unhealthy. The legal environment. This includes the laws passed by the government as well as the decisions rendered by various commissions and agencies at every level of the government. Every business has to obey the law of the land in which it wishes to operate. Look at the article in the newspaper which cites India's Environment Minister, Mr. Jairam Ramesh, who is setting new standards in compliance of India's green laws. Businesses thus have to respond by complying with these new laws if they want their projects to be approved. If they do not make these changes, they will be threatened by the legal systems and cannot exist in this industry. The economic environment. This includes the interest rates, inflation rates, changes in disposable income of people, stock market indices and the value of the rupee. The Hindu paper reports that the RBI had increased the repo rate, the rate at which the banks borrow from the Reserve Bank of India. This would lead to a rise in the cost of the funds for the banks and eventually make loans more expensive. The textile sector, already facing the brunt of ever-rising cotton prices, would now have to combat with an increase in the institutional lending rates following the hike in the short-term rates. How can the textile industry respond? By looking at alternative sources of finance, possibly equity, not debt. They could also increase their selling prices to respond to their increased costs. The next, the political environment. This includes political conditions such as general stability and peace in the country, and the specific attitudes that the elected government representatives hold towards business. The newspaper title was "Free Vaccination for Swine Flu was inaugurated for people from below poverty line families." This article says that the government had sanctioned as many as 40,000 doses under phase 1 of the vaccination program that was being undertaken. How can a business respond to this information? Pharmaceutical companies who read this article and who have the swine flu vaccine can respond by providing the vaccine to the relevant bodies. The learning point here is, look out for business opportunities and go for them. They may not come to you. Another avenue for the pharmaceutical companies is to provide these vaccines free and to do a social service for the needy, that is, for the corporate social responsibility. Technological environment. This environment includes forces relating to scientific improvements and innovations which provide new ways of producing goods and services and new methods and techniques of operating a business. The following article reads, "Now learn Indian languages via iPods and iPhones." It discusses a new user-friendly language learning application for mobile devices. How can a business respond to this information? For mobile devices manufacturers and sellers, this is an excellent opportunity to include this application, especially for their Indian clients or those who seek to learn Indian languages. For language schools, however, this news is a threat, as this application serves as a substitute for the language teacher. The schools thus can promote aggressively their strengths and include money-back promises or guaranteed results to attract their learners. So students, just remember, no man is an island, which means you or me. We cannot survive when isolated from others. Businesses cannot survive alone either. They need to respond to the external environment and make changes so as to progress.
This is where the social, legal, economic, political and technological analysis or SLEPT analysis comes into play.